So in 96 you graduated, and then
Mhm.
similar to 92, there would be a day in 1996 where a more slightly wiser Raju Ray ended up in Bangalore ashram. So how was that day?
No, that was it was not known to me that I would be in the ashram for all that time. The initial thing was Gurudev had told me to find a job in Pune. So I had got a few jobs in Bombay through campus and off campus also. And then when he told me, I got a job in Infosys also in Pune. And the only reason I didn't join Infosys was they have that bond thing. No?
Ah, yeah.
They had that, yeah. So 1 year you have to sign a bond. I said, I'm ready to serve you for 20 years. But that 1 year bond is indicating that you don't trust me.
Ah, yes, right.
Yeah. So I don't want to survive in that, work in that atmosphere where there is no trust. You trust me as a human being. You stretch out your hand first that we trust you, and then I return the trust back, and I will serve you for the longest possible time. So they said you consider, and I said you consider, and we had a good 2 3 month back and forth communication. Hmm. So finally, they gave me a final thing, 15th October. You join at our Bangalore campus. So then I said, does it mean that you're giving in to whatever I'm asking? So they didn't reply, and then the communication just dropped. And then that was also the time I was thinking maybe a job is not for me. I said maybe because I'm a little free type of person, independent, in a job reporting to someone, it did not appeal to me. So I said, okay, maybe let me start my business. I was also raising funds. Startup fund systems were not there that time, especially in India.
Yeah.
So I was raising my funds. I was doing odd businesses, jobs here, there, slowly. I didn't want to depend on my parents. And for me, I always felt that your first start should not be with a loan.
Yeah.
You have to show your capability right in the beginning on your own. Then the loans can come at a later stage of expansion. So with that thing, I was also working on that. And one fine day, I got a call from Bangalore that Gurudev is calling you for Shivratri. So I went to Shivratri. He said, would you like to stay in the ashram for a month? Because some of the ashramites will be going to Rishikesh along with me. So I said, okay, 1 month is fine. And he came back in a month, and then he told me to also go back. And I said, can I stay for a few more days and few more days? And then he said, one day we had gone for a picnic somewhere. And while coming back at the door of the ashram, gate of the ashram, he says, uh, Prashant, your home has come. Will you not feed me home food in your home?
Wow.
So that was the indication that okay, I'm staying back. And then it continued. So by that time, my parents were also settled. I had a lot of communication with them, and they were okay being me being full time in Art of Living. So those matters were also taken care of by that time.
Great. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if you have heard, but when I was at IIT, I heard these concepts that people had about life at campus. They thought that people who have not been to IIT campus, they thought that, IIT campus, people will all be sitting under a tree and figuring out all these great things and all this intellectual stuff. And it's nothing like that. It's totally not like that. Similarly, there is a perspective of life in the ashram. Oh, people will be just meditating and, doing satsang, etc. So describe for us, break that myth also. What is life in the ashram like?
No, a lot of people, when they come and do programs in the ashram, it's a very enjoyable experience for them. They come, meditate, they relax, and they feel happy, and then they start liking that place, ashram energy. And many of them think, the life which I'm living back is not the life I should be in. This is such a life, comfortable, where everyone is, so peaceful, meditators. But that is also a myth. Ashram life can be really challenging. You have to really slog. You have to work hard. My first few years, I can say 5 6 years, I would hardly sleep 4 or 5 hours a day. and sometimes even 2 hours. And it was like many things happening at the same time. And then the construction of the Vishalakshi Mandap came over, and that was a time when Gurudev said, "You take care of the construction." And I had no idea about project management. I had no idea about civil engineering. I had no idea about how to handle people. I was that arrogant, I can say, brat from who has just graduated from IIT, who thinks who knows everything. All the all the principles of the world are very clear to him, and that stamp was also there that IIT is there. So it was a very learning experience. And the culture nowadays, the culture has somehow evened out across India. But in those days, the culture of Bombay, Pune, from where I was distinctly different from the culture in Bangalore.
How
So
different?
in
How?
so in Bombay, Pune, if somebody says yes, I will do it, it means he will do it. If he says tomorrow 10 o'clock, I will do it, considering Indian standard times and being late and all that, 11:30, you can still expect that the work is done. But in Bangalore, in those days, I could not make out. He said, I will do it, and it would be days. He's not even started the work. And then I will say, when are you doing? I'm doing it in 2 days. And that 2 days again will become 2 months, and it's not started. So it was very difficult to understand when the person is going to do the work and when not to do the work, what to expect. And when he's saying yes, so does he require help, support, not what? When a person speaks very clearly, you know what has to be done. But when a person is, saying yes and then nothing happens, you don't know. You ask him again, he said, no, don't worry, I will do it, with a very finality, it will be all taken care of. So that was a very steep learning curve for me. At one point, at one side, Gurudev was saying that it has to happen very quickly, nicely, all those things. And the other side was this. I remember, our cook would start give breakfast at around 9:30, 10 in the morning, and lunch would be at 2:33 in the afternoon, and dinner maybe 9:30, 10. All times like that. And because of that, the ashram efficiency was not there. So once I went and told Gurudev, if this person is going to give breakfast or whatever at this time, then efficiencies are not going to happen. And he said, yeah, you go ahead and you tighten them. So I was without a beard. I used to look like a kid. So I'm much younger than what I was also. So that cook would refuse to listen to me. And then few times it happened, and then again I reported to Gurudev. So Gurudev said, now you tell him firmly, and if he doesn't give food on time, tell all the ashramites to not have food that day. So I was like, Munna bhai, circuit. भाई ने बोला बापू दिखते तो दिखते हैं अभी. So because I said firmly 2-3 days it was okay, then it became 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, and one day I said we are not going to have food. So we were 15 of us, and then suddenly 5 of us only revolted. How can you do that and all that? I said, no, Guruji has said. So he said, no, we will talk to Guruji. I said, no. And then at least I said, okay, now let's go for satsang. It's satsang time. After that, we will see. So we went for satsang. By this time, the cook really felt slighted. So he said, I'm leaving the ashram. And Bangalore ashram had a history that cooks would not survive there. So the most important person in the Bangalore ashram was the cook.
Cook, yeah.
Okay, so he blew up and he said, I'm packing my bags and going. How dare this young boy, small boy who, not even his age, and talk to me like this and all that. And Kishorda was there. He was a trustee that time, and he somehow handled the cook. And then Kishorda came to me. Satsang got over, and he came to me and he blasted me left, right, and center. Now, for me, I was like, I don't know what the situation is all about. And Gurudev has not told me to tell anything to him. So I just kept quiet. And he blasted me half an hour, 45 minutes. He really gave me left, right, and center. Do you have any sense and this? I just kept quiet. So for me, Gurudev has said you should not have food. So that night I did not have food, and Kishorda felt bad that because he scolded me, I'm not having food. So to balance that, then I had a glass of milk, and I went. Next day morning, 6:30 in the morning, Kishorda was at my door banging. You know, wake up. I was just finishing my meditation. I came out, and he said, "हमने गुरुजी से बात कर लिया है." I talked to Guruji. I said, "What did you talk to Guruji?" He said, "Last night I made an urgent call to Guruji. He was in Germany, and why did you not tell me that Guruji had told you not to do all these things?" So I said, "Gurudev did not tell me to tell you." So
Yeah.
so he said, anyway, doesn't matter. He didn't apologize directly like this, but he expressed it in some other ways. And then he said, I have told Ramesh that he has to listen to you, whatever he says, and whatever you say, Ramesh will do it for you. So whatever, that was the time I realized sometimes reacting might
Make it
aggravate the
worse.
situation and make it worse. So that was my first learning. It was still not that brat had not come down, but little bit somewhere that
The
thing
softening
was
had
there.
happened. Yeah,
The softening had happened.
yeah. Right.
So that was the beginning, and it was challenging. Every course after course which would happen, we had accommodation for 200 250 people. 800 would land up, and they would be very rich people, not used to living out of the comforts of their homes, and they're sleeping on the paths and the verandas, Sumeru Mandap, and the bathroom is 200 meters away. So they will give you left, right, and center every time. And that Kishorda's training started taking root here, to listen to everyone this. And that was the time that realization came that once a person does an advanced course or any program, they soften down. And for us as a team, no, we would say, okay, first day, no, this is going to be like that. We'll do whatever we can, give them extra blankets, give them extra pillows, you know don't say anything, but just do that. And by the fifth day, the program would get over, and they will come and say, we are very sorry, we behaved with you like this, but it's such a learning experience that we can survive in such conditions and be happy also. So that knowledge changes everything. Advanced courses, meditation changes everything, was so experiential for us at that moment of time, how people would change in those 4 5 days.